Benvenuto! Today we have a special show talking about the great influence propaganda has in Mussolini's rule and how efficient it is. Do people like it? Does it work? We will debate this in a few minutes of interviews and debates. Starting off, what were Mussolini's aims and methods of propaganda? It all goes down to media control and manipulation by creating support and a national pride that unified the country in times of chaos. Fortunately for him, it did work. Italians feel stronger and now work hard as one for the state. Now, moving on to the actual development of propaganda and how a single journalist achieved to rise to power through media control. Mussolini's main goal was to suppress all means of criticism, either through radio and films, which were the main propaganda tool, or mass parades and sporting events, which created enthusiasm and heightened national pride. One of Mussolini's major campaigns was the one made for the Abyssinian War, in order to rally support for the war, where Mussolini publicly announced the empire in May 1936, and even had posters showing women giving up their wedding rings to support the war effort. What do you think about this, Paola?
Ciao, bellos. Well, my opinion is not very relevant, but one that is Tenenbaum, a very famous historian. He referred to Mussolini's reign as reign of journalism. He also stated that Mussolini's approach to propaganda was amateurist, which reduced effectivism.
Interesting.
Yes, it is. Mussolini's rule is all about mass media and communication. His key instruments were newspapers, which were state controlled. The government even gave grants to papers and journalists who were doing it right. The radio was also very efficient. So efficient that it is given to schools for free, for the children to be indoctrinated with Mussolini's greatness. The government even had an agency made called Luz to create documentaries and newsreels. But what motivated the people were the rallies and the sports. Mass parades were displayed to impress its observers. These events create a sense of belonging amongst the people, and the state is now seen as work of art and perfectly functioning machine. Did you know there is a rumor going around which says that the football team received a telegram which threatened them by saying win or die just before the World Cup? I guess that's why they ended up winning this year. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Hope to see you soon.
And go. We will be back in just a minute.
Today we have La Padula, one of the famous architects which built the fabulous Palazzo de Civiltà, with the intention of helping Mussolini spread Rome's imperial might. Welcome!
Hello, thank you for having me here today. Indeed, the main objective with this project, as well as all the other buildings Mussolini has ordered, the objective was to bring back the glorious past. You might have heard his famous quote, which he had engraved on the entrance Mostra Augustea della Romanità exhibition. Italians, you must ensure that the glories of the past are surpassed by the glories of the future.
Yes, wonderful words.
You know, since Italy had suffered from a disunity and inferiority complex which affected everyone greatly, what Mussolini did was to exploit the glorious past in a way that would inspire people and unite them under a sense of greatness. It impressed the people with glory and power of fascism, and it gained support for the government's policies.
So, tell us more about this new city and tell us a little bit more about your own project.
The city now flourishes with symbols and ancient Rome. The medieval buildings have been demolished for Roman ruins to be better displayed, and all the new buildings have wonderful classical designs. The project I worked on with my colleagues, Gary and Roman, is known as the Place and State. It echoes the grandeur of Roman monuments, but we also wanted to add originality to this piece, so we decided to combine it with the boldness of modernist vision.
Oh, just wonderful. Lovely work. I'm sorry, but I believe our time is over, although we are all looking forward for more beautiful buildings of yours.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Ciao, bellos. I'm James. one of the artists of Mussolini's propaganda. I'm the one who can answer all of your questions about his propaganda of his dictatorship. Our propaganda is made from culture, that from Mussolini's view means both elites' works for art and intellectual discussion. The regime also concerned itself with high culture. Since our propaganda was so effective, Hitler followed Mussolini's propaganda.
Sam, welcome to the show. We are here to debate about the fascinating past.
It is a huge pleasure to have the privilege to assist to this debate show. Thanks for having me.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you. So, what do you think about Mussolini's propaganda? Do you think he benefited of it, or was it a failure?
It certainly is an interesting question. In my opinion, it is a huge success in the beginning as it helped to attract the people of Italy and change their minds about Mussolini.
And did that success keep on going after a few years?
No, it did not. After the 1936, his fame kept declining until 1940, where he was massively hated by many of his people. So propaganda did not prevent the hatred of the people.
So, you believe it was propaganda that made him fail?
Yes, I do. Even Mussolini himself admitted propaganda was a problem.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe our time is over. See you another day.
Hello everyone! Today we have a visitor who is going to be explaining us about sport, while Mussolini was in charge of Italy. Welcome, Lee!
Yo, cheers for having me, Sophia. I cannot wait to discuss about this topic.
You are in front of 150,000 spectators. When you are ready, what do you think about sport in Italy in 1930s?
So let me start by saying that sport was hugely encouraged as spectacle and participation. People watched and played about sport to socialize with the community. New stadiums were built everywhere to impress the population and encourage them to be involved in sport and fight for the country. As they said before, win or die, you fight for this country. After Italy won the 1934 and 1938 World Cup, they increased national pride. So Mussolini did a great job with propaganda to involve sport as it increased the interest of the people in sport. Sports were used as propaganda to unite the people and impress people watching, by showing people how entertaining Mussolini was.
Thank you for your explanation. It was so nice to have you today with me. Good night, and thank you everyone who is listening us. See you next week.
Thanks for having me.